Chatroom is coming from the Blue Bay restaurant in Saint Laurent du Var. Relationships are challenging at the best of times, but as more and more women explore new opportunities, today we ask, what is the perfect relationship at 50? To find out what's in and what's not and what's ideal, we have Diane Messias, Fontini Pappas, Deborah D'Alessandro, and to find out if I get it right when I get to 50, my name is Anna Phil. I was reading only the other day about a best-selling authoress, Joanna Trollope, and she was saying that women have ridiculous expectations when it comes to finding a relationship. Do we argue on that point?
Anna, the question is what a woman expects at 25 years old from a relationship and what she expects at 50 or 60, I think, are two different things. I'll throw that out to everyone here. When you were 25, what were you looking for? And we all have different ages, but none of us are 25 anymore. What are you looking for now?
I think that's interesting you say that, because to me, I was looking for exactly the same things at 25 as I am now.
Ah.
Kind of you to state that you're not yet 50, Anna. It's really good.
I thought I'd get that one in.
Yeah. But I don't know what expectations would be different. Obviously, when I was 25, I wanted children, and I have a child now. But in terms of qualities of
emotional support, do you find that you still look for the same amount of emotional support from a man when you were 25 than now, or do you find that possibly you get more of that from your female companions?
Yeah, I still look for it now, and I didn't get it then, and I don't have it now. So.
It's difficult because we sort of put our own lives on hold when we're younger, because we either choose to have children or we get married and our partners support, and then we decide that we want to go back into the workforce, and that's sometimes where the problems start to arise. How do you find that, Fontini? Because you've been in a relationship for quite a long time, and you've got a son as well. Was that the same situation?
Well, let me make a point on something that you said before about the expectations at different ages. I think when reflecting back on how I was when I first met my husband, and I was nearly 19 at the time, what I needed was primarily emotional security and support at the time. With 31 years of a relationship down the drain, things have changed a great deal. Now, if you ask me what I would be looking from a relationship or my relationship, I'd say fun. I would say enjoyment. I reached the point where I don't need probably enough I don't need the same kind of emotional security or support. I need to enjoy life. Yeah.
But you're celebrating a very special day today. Fontini is 50 today, so that's
happy
birthday. So that's
birthday,
fantastic. So you're right on that line
exactly,
there.
exactly.
But I think as well, coming back to when women go back into the workforce again, their ideas change. I think we all touched on that point. We've got our ideas change, our wants and needs do. But if we've got a partner in our lives, how do they look at us? I have experience of knowing that they look at us different. They don't like the routine being broken.
Well, I think a woman goes through a lot of different changes because she's had children, she hasn't had children, she's gone through career changes. And I think at 50, the women that I'm meeting that want to reinvent themselves are exploding with passion. They really are. We're talking about women who have their heads on straight, they feel good about themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think the problem comes in when they want everyone else around them to feel that way. And if they're living with someone, that isn't always happening.
What do you think about that, Diane?
Yeah, I would agree there actually, and with my experience, and I've also been married a long time, just to a lot of different men, so I'd get that one in. But what I think is that what I've found is that men don't like to lose control. They like, maybe it's just my experience, but generally speaking, they like the woman at home or perhaps working, but in a particular role, in a sort of, maybe, I don't know if it's to do with a hierarchical position in the relationship, that they do like to know that there's a status quo that's not going to change.
You know what, Diane, I think what you're really saying is men like to know what they have in front of them.
Yeah.
So if
Yes.
a woman has
Yeah.
always behaved a certain way, and now at 50 her children are older and maybe she's changed jobs, and now she wants fun. And now all of a sudden she doesn't have the inhibitions that she possibly had before, and she's doing a little bit of crazy things. The man doesn't understand her anymore. And as we had a conversation before with someone, even the children don't understand her anymore. And they're not all going to be saying, rah,
Do
rah
you
for
think that's,
mama.
as she's been if she's had children, she's been raising children, she's gained some valuable experiences there, some life experiences where she thinks, now I can use that and I can profit from that. So her whole mental thought pattern changes, therefore she changes, and that's what upsets people in our lives.
But there's another thing here, there's another thing here, is that I think that we are the first generation of women, possibly excluding you because you're not yet 50, just in case anyone's forgotten. But we're the first generation where this is happening, because for our parents' generation, women, well, they didn't go out, they didn't go out in the evenings and go, you know, to have access to all the things that we do now at the age of, you know.
I think we've got, in our generation, we probably were the first, as you said, to have the opportunity to reinvent ourselves, to change ourselves, to transform the role that society had given to our mothers, and go on to invent and reinvent that role and change. I think us women have become very restless compared to men, and this is what makes us go for change, try new things, learn from motherhood, from other experiences in life, and move on.
You know, there was one editor of a very glossy magazine, and she was saying that as she climbed the career ladder and she became more confident and a person in her own right, she didn't really need somebody there permanently in her life. She didn't need somebody to whisk off to Paris, to Rome. She could do that by herself. What I've been seeing, reading and learning about is that women are looking forward to that time. It's the best time to go for, because we don't have the inhibitions that we had before. That it's a time to embrace. And I think back to the original question is, what is the ideal relationship in that case then?
Yeah.
What is it? What would you say?
I'm looking for a man.
Oh.
Please form a queue. Auditions will be taking place. I don't know. I genuinely think. But you know what? You know, when I was 18, I was giving dinner parties. I wasn't out clubbing. Like, you know, well, you didn't have clubs those days. You went to discos, you know, so far back. But you know, I mean.
But when you say you're looking for a man, what do you want? Anna asked you, what do you want from this man? Do you want to see him every day? Do you want to live with him?
Yes.
Do you want to?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Bettina, and you find, but is your partner with you all the time? Is he working away?
Yes. Well, sometimes he's working away, and
be careful. This is on camera.
Yes, it's true. It's true. He knows that. He knows that already. It's very good to have the house to myself, all to myself at times.
Me time.
Me time. And I would support what Deborah said. I think if you ask every other married woman who's been married for an X number of years, she would probably say, I wouldn't mind having a separate space all to myself.
And I think that's a good thought really to end on, to make sure that we still keep our individualities in anything or any relationship that we have. And before we come to a close on this, once again, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
absolutely. Please join us sometime on the Riviera Woman chat room. Just email us at editors@therivieраwoman.com. Visit the website, of course, www.therivieраwoman.com. Once again, we've come from the Blue Bay restaurant in San Laurent du Var. Well, there you go. So we're all looking for that
My
man
phone
there.
number available.
Great. That was a good, yeah, that's good.